Audio's running.
Take. Hi, I'm Brian from Easy 4x4. I am here today to show you how easy it is to install the flip top on a JL, JLU, and JK. Now all of them are relatively the same, just depending on which model you get, but the whole front of the installation for the flip tops is the same. The locks are a little different, and you'll see that at a later time. Now, when you open up your box, you're gonna either see one with a hinge on it or straight. Either one is fine. They both work the same. So the one we're gonna install today is the one with the hinge, because that's what the box had in it. Now, you'll notice when you open up the box, you're gonna have two, and each one's gonna have a little notch right here. The notch goes on the outside, and you just lay them down here so the notch is right there. And you'll notice a notch on this side. That's where it goes. Now, one of the things is when you do the install, you got to make sure it's not wet outside or it's above 50 degrees. And you know, between 50 and 80 degrees, you can do the install. It works real well. Today it's a little wet, and I'm going to continue with the install. If it continues to rain before I stick it down, I'm going to actually stop the video. It's important that it is dry and everything is clean. So the first thing I'm going to do is this area. I just laid it down here. I'm going to clean this area, but before I do that, I'm just going to put some tape up here. And this tells me where I'm going to be cleaning. Okay, you don't have to clean the high points, okay? But all the low areas have to be clean, and I'm putting the tape at it's about 4 inches long, because I'll reuse the tape for other things during the installation. I'm gonna pull them off now. I'm gonna clean that area. The reason why we clean it, and we're gonna clean it 4, 5, 6 times, but we're trying to get all the dirt off, and we're trying to get all the wax off if it was waxed. It's important that you have everything up here before the install so you're not jumping up and down. You're gonna have a screwdriver, a knife, tape measure, lacquer thinner, masking tape, and for later on the install, after it's complete, a drill. Now that we have the area blocked off, we're gonna clean it. What I always do, I just use paper towels. Each time I use the paper towel, I'm gonna flip it over. So I'm not putting the dirt back on the roof. A lot of these roofs are pretty dirty, so you have to clean them a lot. On the new JLs or JLUs, JTs, they're usually pretty clean, okay? So I'm just gonna go through the whole thing really quick. Notice I'm cleaning between the bumps. That's really all you have to worry about. And you hear that little squeak? That's what we wanna hear. But we're still, you can see it's still dirty, and we're gonna continue 3 or 4 times. Now that we've cleaned it, we're gonna actually put an adhesion primer on the areas where we're gonna stick down the flip top. Primer is a 3M product, and what it does, it helps the 3M tape bond to the hardtop. And it's important because it probably increases the bonding by a minimum of 30 to 40%. And that's real important when you want this to stay on. So we give you a few of these so you don't have to worry about using it sparingly. You just make sure it's a shiny, wet surface, and then it'll dry in a few minutes. What you do need to do is save one for the locks in the back. So you could probably use up to 5 here. And save one for the locks in the back. And that's it. Now we're gonna let it dry for a couple minutes, and start installing it. We're gonna lay these out. Make sure your slot is right on this side. Your slot is on that side. Now that we have these in place, we're gonna put our template right here. There's a groove in the template here and a groove right here. And all you do is you center it here, and push it back. Make sure it's centered here, and well, to show that the template is correct, this will be centered plus or minus a hair. This will be centered here. And we're ready to tape it down. I'm going to take the tape that I used before and tape down the front section. Okay, what I always do is when I tape it, I make sure I don't cover the V here so I know if it moved. Okay, and I put my hand on it so while I'm taping it, nothing's moving. If it's a little off, you don't have to worry about it because when it flips back, it always flips back to the closed position. That's one of the important reasons why when we're doing the install, we do it on the Jeep, because this is how it's going to be when it closes. So we're going to take the tape, and we're always constantly looking to make sure we don't move it. I have my weight on it, so nothing moves. Don't be afraid to use as much tape as you want. Now, I'm only going to be taping one side because the rear side is the side that we're going to connect first, okay? So I'm going to lift this up, flip this back. I check to make sure everything hasn't moved yet, and that's important. All right, and then we're going to peel these off. When you peel them off slow at the beginning. And if you see it pulling up the 3M tape, take the knife and just put it down here and you can stop it from peeling off the tape. And if you happen to peel off the tab, okay, or rip the tab, I'm gonna rip the tab purposely, like that, and now it's gonna be hard. What I always do is I put a little slit in the tape, and then you can grab the tape like that and pull it off. When you're doing the tape, do it really slow so you don't tear the red backing. Now that I have it done, I'm just looking to make sure nothing moved. Okay, I put the 3M 94 primer on it. It's nice and clean. I just can drop it right down like that. Okay, then we work on this one. These cuts in the 3M tape are actually intentional. It gives it a rip stop, so if it ever rips anywhere, it stops in these areas. And we're just gonna check one more time, make sure nothing moved, it hasn't, and drop it down. Okay. Now that we've gotten these back hinges down, we can pull all the tape off. Now, when you're doing the install, if you happen to make a mistake, just pick up the phone, give us a call. If you stuck something down by mistake, and we'll send you a new part at no extra charge. So now that this is done, we're going to take this panel, flip this back, and carefully pull these off. Now, before you stick it down, just make sure everything's still cleaned off, nothing, a bug isn't there or anything like that, and just drop it down, and that's it. I'm going to flip it down, and that's the way it goes, okay? And this is all we do. We just stand on it like this, and this helps it adhere. And that's how easy it is to install it. So now that the flip top is installed, we're going to start working in the back area, putting down the rubber stops. Okay, the rubber stops are to protect your flip top from damaging your hard top, and we're going to install the locks in the back. Now that we've installed the flip top on the hard top, we're going to put the bumpers on. I found it very easy. It's hard if you have to peel it off. Some people have a knack to it, but I just take a little knife and cut it, okay, like I was showing you before. And I can peel it back a little, and it comes off. Cut away from you, do a little cut in it, just to cut through the red paper, plastic, and you can peel it up real easy. I find it a lot easier than trying to grab a corner. So now that we've peeled the tape off, okay, we're gonna measure 25 inches, 24, 25 inches. It could be either one. And we're gonna work on the high spots, and we're just gonna clean that a little with lacquer thinner, 2 times. You don't need primer 94 with these because this sticks real well, and there's no stress or movement on it. So just by doing this, it is enough. So I did about 24 or 25 inches. Either one is fine. All right, so the first one, I put the tape measure to the hinge, and I'm measuring back. And I'm gonna try to center it as best as I can. If you're a little off, it doesn't really matter. No one ever sees this part of the Jeep, but try to get it as close as you can. That's 2. I just clip it on the hinge. It's real easy to do it that way. And that looks real straight. That's nice. Now that we've put the rubber bumpers down for the hardtop, we're gonna make sure it's unclipped underneath, and we'll just grab it. And we're gonna pull it back and lay it down on the rubber stops. Now, when you're ready to install the back locks, there's a left and a right. You'll see that the left one is centered to the right. It sits right here. Okay, and then you lock this down right into it. But this one right here is a little out of adjustment. So I'm just gonna loosen the screw up a little. And center the slot so it's in the middle. I want to have adjustment on both sides. Okay, now I have adjustment either way. So I'm going to take this and push it forward. Make sure it's square. Put a piece of tape here so I know where to stick it. Okay, if you're a little off with this, it doesn't really matter because you have your adjustments. And now I know exactly where to stick it. Now that that is done, okay, we're gonna take this tape, stick it under here so it raises it off the ground. One of the things you gotta make sure, and I've made this mistake before, is make sure you don't mix these up when you're pulling the tape off. So be real careful about that. And then we're going to carefully pull this off, okay? All right, I'm going to leave it like that for now because I didn't clean it yet. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I keep the left side on the left and the right side on the right because I have made that mistake before. Clean it. Yeah, clean both sides about 3 times. And if the rag gets really dirty, use another rag. This one happens to be pretty clean back here. Okay, now that we've cleaned it, we're going to primer 94 it. You're saving 1 packet for this. And that's done. Make sure you're square still, and you can just drop it down. And that's it. So I'm going to take it here. I'm going to make sure that I'm following the line. I'm not on the curve. And I just drop it right down. Then we pull off the tape and we're ready to adjust the lock. Now that the locks are secure, okay, we're going to lift it up, pull the tape off, flip these back and adjust them. So you'll notice that this doesn't go in location anymore because I must have put it down a little offset. But what's nice about it, you just loosen it up like this. You can move it over. Close, push hard. And align it, see? And it's nice and tight. And I'm going to do the same with this. Push it in. Tighten it up. One of the things, make sure you use a regular Phillips screwdriver, not an electric screwdriver, because you can over tighten it and ruin it. And that's it. So what we're going to do now is just open it up and test it. Now you're going to find sometimes you're going to bring it down and it won't close. All you do is hold it up about 3 inches and it drops right down. Make sure all your locks are open. You'll see it doesn't close now. About 3 or 4 inches up, just drop it down and lock it. Now that we've performed all the installations, okay, I'm going to show you how to open and close it. Before you open it, make sure all your locks are open. When you lift it, if you feel something tugging on it, look underneath. Ah, I forgot one of the locks. And lift it up. So we're just going to test it, make sure everything's okay. Everything's secure. Flip it back, and we're going to drill it. Now that we've tested it, okay, we're going to get ready to put the bolts in.